Welcome back, guys, to Trails Through Daybreak 2, our last episode. After another big catch, we continued into Dirk Memorial Park to complete our first 4 SPG of Act 3, Park Parallel 2, before resuming our sweep of Edith in the Blacklight District, and then popping back above ground in Station Street. With part of the area chatted through, we stopped to take on another 4 SPG.
Business will be better this year.
There's a 4 SPG on the bulletin board. The Vanished Migrant Workers. My name is Conrad, and I'm a mediator for foreign individuals. Recently, some migrant workers, primarily from an impoverished northern region, have gone missing in the capital. I worry that people will cast doubt on my line of work if this continues. If you're interested in hearing me out, I'll be waiting on the department store's rooftop. Oh no.
Why don't we see?
Do you think it's Thingamabob? Jacobin. Do you think he's bringing some evils upon the world yet again?
Let's see. I need to buy.
We embarked on a journey.
Sourced from farmers. Look no further than.
I need to gel that guy. I can't believe he's not in jail.
We invite everyone to come and see for yourselves.
If he's not going to be in jail, can I, like, give him to Harwood or something?
Wow.
Oh, Marduk then. Marduk it is.
Wow. Those guys are so cool.
Oh no, remote control cars. Not a race again, please. You the Conrad that posted the request. We're from Arkride Solutions. Oh yes, you really do look dependable. It's just as the rumors said. Wait, isn't that guy... Yeah, I'm assuming you're the one who recommended our services. You're the editor-in-chief of that one gossip rag. We met sometime last year, didn't we? Gotta say though, you picked an awfully lively place for our meetup this time. Wouldn't suppose there's a reason for that? I see you're as quick on the uptake as ever, Arkride. Having a loud crowd surrounding us makes it harder for people to eavesdrop. Anyway, you'll hear out his request, won't you? It sounded like it'd be right up your alley. If I remember correctly, you often act as a go-between for immigrants dealing with special circumstances, right? I'm not so sure about this one, guys. Migrant workers tend to get caught up in a lot of not-so-honest work. They get a bad rap for a reason. Believe me, I understand the reputation they have better than anyone else. But there can be a lot of red tape in their paperwork. If they want to feed their families, most have no choice but to resort to criminal means. People like that are who make up a majority of my client base. Migrants unable to obtain proper work visas. In other words, migrants who have no legal right to work in this country. I've seen firsthand the problems immigrants can face. It's not pleasant. Well, if they're Eastern, you can bet Hayaway will take care of them. But I guess the others don't really got a lot of options. Exactly, so my job is to introduce those people to someone who can provide them work. Then I get a finder's fee from the employer. And maybe it's not my place to say, but I believe that's a better outcome than them starving in the streets while they wait for their papers. Well, when you put it that way... I understand why you're apprehensive. I'm sure you know plenty of people like him who use their jobs to exploit foreigners. It's just, well, Conrad here knows where to draw the line. Though I suppose he has sent a few people to handle some seriously dreadful menial labor. But trust me when I say he neither introduces them to the illegal work, nor takes cuts of their pay. Well, I guess that's as much assurance as we can get. Go ahead and give us the details then. I'm guessing it's got something to do with those missing workers we've been hearing about. Yes, you see, after contacting me about how the work isn't for them, they'll go missing altogether. It's been a pretty big topic of concern in my line of work, though nobody's been able to make heads or tails of it. Honestly, if this keeps up, I'm worried suspicion will start to fall on both me and my colleagues. Yeah, you're right. You'd be suspect number 1 in no time. So what? You want us to figure out what's going on so they don't start pinning the disappearances on you guys? If you could, yes. Does that sound like something you could do? Yes, I can. Gives us lots of grey. Alright, seems like a pretty cut and dry issue. Plus, we can't exactly say no to a referral from the editor-in-chief. Yeah, I'm also pretty worried about the safety of these workers. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so relieved. I just can't get a good night's sleep knowing what could be happening to those people. And here I thought you were more worried about saving your own ass. Well, I've been doing this work for a while. You hear some pretty grueling stories about the lives immigrants lead. You'd have to have a heart of stone to not sympathize with them. Well, if that's how you feel, maybe I don't have as many reservations about this job as I thought. I agree. If the lives of those migrant workers truly are in jeopardy, I see no issue in taking on this request. Do you mind going over the details once more? I can't thank you enough. I've been a bit hesitant to consult the police or the bracers, so this is a huge weight off my shoulders. I think the bracers would be fine. The police, obviously, that's why it's not law. Well, looks like things are finally going your way, comrade. I'm glad I was here to introduce you all. Anyhow, I'm a busy man, so I'll be heading off now. Feel free to decide what to do amongst yourselves. That guy's a real piece of work. I'm sure we'll be just fine without him. More importantly, why don't you fill us in on some of the specifics? I heard something about the ones disappearing being migrants from the north of Zemuria. That's right, they're the ones who have gone missing most frequently. Easterners and Central Easterners haven't seemed to be affected at all, however. Huh, even white foreigners come here for work? They do, yes. After all, there's a fair number of undeveloped regions in the north. Along with those from North Ambria, the Republic also receives immigrants from the outlying areas around the Free Cities as well. Yeah, I used to hear all sorts of stories about the tribes up there. It's strange that they've been made a target, though. We're going to need to do some digging, particularly into the workers' backgrounds. I'm glad you share my concern. However, I believe it's best if I leave the rest to you. I'll be in the area for a while, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So what do you want to do first? We don't exactly have much to go on. We need to find people who are familiar with not only migrant workers, but specifically those from North Zemuria. Now that I think about it, I've heard the one subcontracting factory employs loads of them. Bet we could probably talk some of their business partners into spilling a few dirty secrets. Exactly. The workers themselves would likely be on guard if we were to ask directly. Investigating their periphery is definitely this better strategy. Alright then, let's hit up Bradley's first. Given all the parts he has to order, I'm sure he's got some connections with people in subcontracting. Not only that, but he's the kind to pay attention to the small stuff. Might just have some pretty good leads. Who do you think we should ask about the migrants? Gabriella used to work with the Northern Jaegers, right? Maybe she'll know something. Nah, her roots run a little too deep in the underworld. We should try talking to some of the more lawful immigrant populations first. In that case, we should focus on places where people from the north are most likely to gather. Come to think of it, aren't the people who run Old Town's bathhouse from MF area? Nice job, Anne, yes? It's usually pretty easy to miss something right under your nose. Well, if it was more of an epiphany than anything. That being said, I think they became naturalized citizens quite a while ago. Do you think they still know what's going on in the migrant community? I think it's worth a shot. After all, northern folk take their saunas pretty seriously. Even if they don't have direct connections anymore, it's likely that Laguna still serves as a central hub. Then I suppose it's settled. We'll be heading to Bradley Maintenance and the Laguna Bathhouse.
Let's start this 4SPG, shall we?
You're not getting a cut. Right, so one of them is in Station Street. Riverside. Sorry, I'm in Station Street. Bradley Maintenance is the car place.
Here goes.
So I guess we'll talk to you. Seems like he's changed since we last met. Doesn't seem like he'll be getting over his car anytime soon, though. Well, I'll make sure to put some real elbow grease in.
Very well.
What do you guys want? I'm just here for some personal business. I used to be able to get parts directly from the Etwas factory, but now... Well, I guess this shop isn't so bad either. I have more options this way, too. Yeah, what's wrong with this place? Okay, so you didn't have double dialogue anyway. Do you know what?
Can I help you?
I'll shop first. Give me this winged helmet for Aaron.
Come again. Got a question for you.
So, you want to know about the people my suppliers employ, huh? Well, I gotta imagine they use their fair share of migrant workers. Don't they ever talk to you about them? Figured you would have known more. I mean, they don't exactly fill me in on all the details, but I guess I have been hearing some strange things about them lately. Things that have got even me concerned. Don't know if it's what you're looking for, but I can share it with you if you like. That would be very helpful, Mr. Bradley. Did something happen? Right, well, where should I start? Apparently, a bunch of migrant workers at one of the factories just up and quit recently, all over a few days too. I thought it was some sort of strike at first, but it doesn't seem like that was the case. There's been no contact from the workers since. That is certainly worrisome. Were there any warning signs? What I've been told, management had no idea any of it would happen until it all went down. The ones who left were known to be pretty serious workers too. None of them showed any dissatisfaction with their jobs at all. But regardless, they all got up around the same time and called it quits. I think they said something to the likes of, "This job doesn't suit me," or "I deserve better." It's pretty strange they all gave the same reasons for leaving. Not to mention how these were the last people you'd expect it from. It sounded like this was instigated by someone. Any word about possible third parties? Well, I wouldn't say I'm that informed, but I heard a little something about those workers being seen talking to someone on the outside. I see. Whoever that someone is must have had quite the influence on them. But quitting so suddenly, what were they planning on doing after they left? The factory was worried about the same thing. They even asked them if they had any other jobs lined up. I guess the workers seemed pretty confident that things would work out. Maybe that person they were confiding in gave them some sort of grand opportunity. Well, anyway, that's about all I know at the moment. I should mention, though, everything I heard was just complaints from my suppliers. No worries, you've been a great help. Yeah, you've really given us a lot to think on. That's all the dialogue for you, right?
Here's your schedule.
That's my schedule. Old Town. Laguna Bathhouse.
I guess we're off.
Got a question for you.
You want to know about immigrants from North Zemuria? You're right, we do see our fair share around here. Our family's from Remeth area, but we share our culture with people all over the north. In particular, we get lots of North Ambrian migrants who like to stop by. They usually come by to talk to my grandma and grandpa about all of their problems. I think maybe it's the workers complaining about their day. Bingo! Still, picking up on stuff like that is pretty impressive. Tell me, have you heard anything strange lately about those workers you mentioned? Well, I guess it's not really new, but there's been some talk about them being dissatisfied with the way they're being treated. Dissatisfied with the way they're being treated? Are they being discriminated against? I think it's a little different. I mean, even though they're immigrants, they still look like pretty much everyone else in Calvard, right? Compared to other immigrants, the ones from up north don't really stand out that much. That's true. Even immigrant advocate movements tend to focus on those from the east or central east. I'm sure it's because physiological differences are more easily identifiable. But if that idea starts making the rounds, it's not hard to imagine why northern migrants would be treated less favorably. And it's hard to garner sympathy for them when they look just like the majority of Calvard's population. So they feel like they're being left out, is that it? Even though they're dealing with similar problems, it's harder for them to gain the same amount of sympathy. I can see how that might make you feel a bit trapped. Wouldn't be surprised if someone was able to use that to their advantage. Yeah, but I haven't heard a thing about anyone being swindled. So she got you already, huh? Might just have some useful gossip for you all. You've heard something. You better not be pulling their tail. Well, it's only something that came down the grapevine. There's been talk of someone who can pull foreign workers from the mire of their jobs. Interesting. Can you tell us more? You see, I've been looking into investment trends for social welfare services recently. While I was doing some research, I heard something about a non-profit organization that struck me as a tad peculiar. An NPO. Yes, it was only recently created too. They say they're a group that provides employment support to migrant groups. It appears they've been luring in migrants who already have jobs with promises of both better pay and working conditions. All it takes is one question. Are you really happy with where you're at right now? That's remarkably similar to what we heard over at Bradley's place. Yeah, it seems there's a good chance that the someone they're consulting with is that NPO. They don't seem to be finding new jobs for the ones that quit either. In my opinion, it's all rather irresponsible of them. The least they could do is help them get back on their feet. I agree. No matter how prosperous the Republic is now, there's no guarantee that they'll be able to find another stable income so easily. Especially for those that don't have a valid work visa. It sounds like they're just increasing the number of unemployed immigrants. Why would they do that? They can't be profiting from it somehow, right? It might be too late to ask this now, but what is an NPO? I've heard of an NGO before. Of course, to give a simple explanation, NGO stands for non-governmental organization. On the other hand, NPO stands for a non-profit organization. Both are independent from their nations and are operating to better social welfare. In general, the ones that are restricted to special fields and act on a local level are NPOs. Those who act on an international level and cover multiple pursuits are referred to as NGOs. I see, I think I get it now. But if that's true, then this NPO isn't making anything better at all. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to do some more research into this organization. But thanks for your help, guys. You're welcome. I hope you figure it out. Come on, there's no need for thanks. Just join me for our next game of Mahjong and I'll consider it even. I don't know how to play. Okay, so we got a lot more information than we thought we would. Why don't we find a place where we can sort through it all? Shall we head back to Station Street? That way we can update Conrad on the situation as well. And with all the people in that area it's possible, we'll be able to pick up some extra info along the way. I think it might also be a good time to inform the guild of any developments. Right, let's get going then.
Don't be such a stick in
Wow,
the
that's
mud.
a lot of people you suddenly like, yeah, we should talk to this one, and this one, and this one. Okay. Hey, what? Alright, as it stands now, I think we have a pretty basic idea of what went down. A bit hazy on a few of the details though. I didn't transport to here. Well, actually I did, didn't I? Because this is right next to this. Damn it, I was trying to inform the guild. I got super straight into talking. I'm a bit hazy on a few of the details though. Let's just start by putting everything in order. The base assumption is that the ones going missing are primarily those from the north of Zemuria. They're also all migrants that don't have work visas. They quit their jobs all within the same time frame, but vanished immediately after. And the one who told them to quit was from an MPO. But the question is why? What could they possibly stand to gain from getting migrants to quit? It's also worrying that those who left seem to have cut off all communications. We definitely still have a lot of questions about the whole thing. If only we had something more conclusive. Why don't we just go to the source of the problem then? Let's find this MPO person and make them tell us what's going on. The problem with that is we don't actually know which MPO they're part of. Hug didn't really give us any solid information. Oh, and yes. Is this that part-time job you were talking about? Oh, Miss Toa. Other than Agnes and Elaine, I don't think I've had the pleasure of meeting you all. I'm Toa Herschel, one of the temporary teachers at Aramis. I also work to assist ICO, the International Cooperative Organization. It's nice to meet you. Are you Agnes's teacher? Toa Herschel is also the chief instructor at the branch campus of For's Military Academy. I've heard she's quite the central figure there. Not only did she manage to engage its current students, but its alumni as well. Well, I don't think I'm worth that much fanfare. On the other hand, I've heard more than my fair share of stories about Mr. Arkride. I must admit, I've been looking forward to making your acquaintance. It's just as much of an honor to meet the rumored genius of For's. I'm told you've got your hands in all sorts of places. Perhaps we'll have the opportunity to work together sometime. Yeah, I'm sure we will. Maybe now. You know, actually, there are a few things we're struggling to understand at the moment. Think you could lend us a hand? Miss Toa is associated with an NGO. Would you happen to know anything about the MPOs currently operating in the Republic? What, are you having a problem with one of them? Please, tell me everything you know. The group began to apprise Toa of the details of their current job and what they had learned about the suspicious MPO. However, her response was outside of their expectations. I had no idea this was something you were investigating. The NGO I'm currently associated with does its work to support area-level MPOs. The one I'm looking into at the moment hasn't been as forthcoming about the results of their activities. Naturally, there's been a bit of suspicion. Given the timing, I can't deny the possibility that it might just be connected to the one you all heard about. Also, I believe their stated intentions are to aid the employment of foreigners with special circumstances. Well, I can't say for sure that they're the same organization, but it seems like our most likely lead at the moment. I agree, but would you mind allowing me to accompany you in your investigations? This could be exactly what I need for a breakthrough in my case. I won't hesitate to give you my full cooperation. And even if it isn't, it's still related to an issue with an MPO. It's my duty to follow up on it. You mean you'll help us? That would be great! Yeah, I would have been satisfied with a few useful tidbits, but having you with us will be way more efficient, even if I do end up owing you one. I look forward to working with you. Yes, I think ours will be much better with her along. Well, now that we've welcomed you aboard, do you think you could share any of your more recent findings? Maybe it'll help us figure out our next steps. Actually, I do have something. I have a friend who's been looking into this group as well. I've been waiting for them to contact me with whatever they found and speak of the devil. Hello, sorry about all the extra tasks. Did you find anything useful? This friend of hers, I get the feeling they're not a member of the ICO. Outside the NGO, her friends would be... Never mind, there's no sense in worrying about it right now. Yes, Ashley, I found another group that was looking into a suspicious MPO. It seems to be for a separate incident, however. What I've heard so far, I'm pretty sure the MPO we're each looking into is one and the same. Anyway, you said there was movement over in the Centre Marché? I'll head over now to check it out. Sorry to keep you waiting. We managed to find something after all. As I mentioned, we're almost confident that the MPO I've been looking into and the one from your case are the same organization. Their official name is the Association for Better Migrant Working Conditions. To think they're not only misappropriating funds, but they may also be involved in the disappearance of migrant workers? I can't believe it. Miss Toa. Regardless, it looks like we know what we need to do. You said something about there being movement over in the Centre Marché, right? Then we should hurry. If we're quick enough, we might be able to catch them in the act. Following that, Van and the rest made their way to the Centre Marché. Do you think that's the person we're looking for? Let's catch him before we lose his trail. Barry can play good cop and I'll play bad cop. No, we can't. He might just be an innocent bystander. Yeah, if we approach the wrong person, it could alert the guy we're actually after. We're running out of time, though. As soon as we get some confirmation, we'll make a move. Following? Nope. I see. That person just now said he was from the Association for Better Migrant Working Conditions, right? Yeah, I'm not from Calvard, so he was asking if I was unhappy with my job. He said that in order to find more quality work, I should quit as soon as I can so that we could talk about other opportunities. If I'm being honest, though, I'm much more interested in having a stable income. I turned him down. Man? Yeah, he's got to be our guy. The name, his methods, there's no room for doubt. Can't have gone far. Let's follow him. Yes, we need to put a stop to this. This street doesn't seem to be as crowded as the others. Do you think he's going to meet someone? This might be our chance to find who is behind all this. Let's try and keep out of sight. It is following. Follow the suspicious man. If you get too close to the target, they will notice you. Conversely, if the target strays too far, their trail will be lost. Maintain a safe distance while keeping the target in sight. I am stealth. But we also know this person's going to take a left turn. Nope. So we need to be fairly close. So we can kind of join at that section, yeah? Sneaky, sneaky behind the dumpster. Sneaky, sneaky behind the dumpster. Walking and now crouching here. Looking at the fish, fish, fish. There might be some fish in this district, to be honest. You never know if the fountain has more things in it. Do worry that the lost gauge might start filling up based on the found gauge. Kind of like the overall terrain. You're heading right, are you? We're totally cool. You're going in there, right? Well, now we know the guy's shady. Yes, just having my casual walk into the sewers. Oh, you're finished, yeah? Casual sewer walk. I believe that gate leads to the old sewer system. All that sneaky must mean they've got a secret meeting going on. Well, it's definitely not the kind of place the employee of an MPO would drop by. The alley's pretty narrow. If we all try to cram ourselves in there, we'd be caught in no time. Mind giving us a hand, Katra? Oh, I see. Sure, Theo should have no issue getting him. They'll be able to survey the scene for us. Theo, don't let them see you, but transmit everything in your surroundings, okay? Understood. Pursuing target in stealth mode, sending visuals and sound to Katra's Zypher. And how was today's harvest? Not as good as we'd hoped. They seemed pretty content with where they were. I'm planning on going back to the construction areas of the suburbs, so I'd better look over there. Well, I guess we do already have enough for the first camp. We shouldn't get too greedy. Anyway, delivery is right after this. You'll be there, right? Yeah, after all the trouble I went through, I'll be sure to see them off. Besides, I wanted to ask the people up top who the client was. It's probably better if you keep your questions to yourself. Anyway, I'm heading down to the subway to find some runaways that fit the bill. Well, if something comes up, just give me a holler. Did I hear that right? Yeah, this seems to be more dangerous than we thought. We absolutely cannot allow them to get away with this. And all under the guise of trying to help. It's just too cruel. We have to do something. The target is leaving. It sounded like he was heading to their gathering place. Alright, let's keep after him. Yes, we should hurry. Oh, once again, follow the suspicious men. If you get too close to the target, they will notice you. Conversely, if the target strays too far, their trail will be lost. Yes, we just did it! Maintaining safe distance. Stay right behind me. Oh, let him get away. Sneaky. Slowly does it. Like the stealthiest blue-haired woman in the street. To be honest, I'm imagining you can go like full stealth mode, robot mode, legs. I don't know. I have sound dampeners. Oh, where's the hiding spot here? I mean, we're fine there. I think the person's probably heading right, but it wouldn't surprise me if the guy heads right around the shops. Ooh, okay, get closer. What if he goes up the steps? No, there's not steps there, okay. I reckon he's going to the alleyway ahead. He has to go round to get to it? Just to make the following minigame lasts a long time. It's taking a left at the end of the corridor, right? What do you reckon? And that's the end of the game. I've spotted you. Did we get the reg? He's using a car. Looks like he's headed to the suburbs. I was able to take down his license plate number. However, even if we manage to find a car, it's unlikely we'll be able to catch up to him. Maybe my friends will know his destination. Can I have a minute? Hey, you mentioned something about movement in the suburbs earlier. A bus that was transporting people? It has to be them. You saw it somewhere along Highway 8. Highway 8? That man was headed in the same direction. And that's our next stop. Sorry that this was so sudden, but I appreciate the info. We'll look into it on our end. Don't worry about the rest. Good luck. Give us a call if you need anything else. What do you reckon it is, Crow? Alright, looks like we've managed to figure it out. Didn't think we'd end up relying on your friends again so soon. Let's go see what these criminals have got cooking. Put a stop to whatever they're planning. Crow, George, Angie, which one? All of them? Go to Highway 8. We're not allowed to travel anywhere else. This isn't what we agreed to. You said you'd get better jobs for us. Where are you even taking us to? As I said, I'm taking you to your new employer. It's just as we agreed. Besides, it's not like you were able to find anything better in the meantime, were you? Damn you, I should have never listened to your crap. Ah! You have no right to refuse. You're coming with us whether you like it or not. You're all living outside the law, don't you see? Just stay quiet and do as you're told. I see you finally decided to show your true colors. Sorry, but the Dodo family won't be getting away with this one. How dare you take advantage of these people? We're putting an end to this. You target people looking for help just to do something like this. Just so you know, we've been recording this entire time. I'm sure there's enough for a quick conviction, too. Thanks for scouting ahead, Theo. How did you find us? Arkride Solutions. Ain't you the ones who landed us in hot water last year? Glad to hear we left such a good impression on you folks. I don't gotta explain what we do with scum like you now, do I? Because we don't exactly bring out the tea and cookies. You're the recruiters for the Dolo family, right? Pretty bold of you setting foot in a trade even the Lai family won't touch. You assholes must be so proud. All slave traders are the same. The only way to deal with them is to beat them senseless. Proceeding with area lockdown. All bystanders please retreat to a safe distance. Don't worry about the people on the bus. I'll make sure nobody gets past. Oh, you do have your gun then. You think you can look down on us? You're not going anywhere. I'll make you regret sticking your nose where it don't belong. Maybe if you get on your knees and beg, we'll consider going easy on you.
Let's see what you're made of.
Guy,
Use a shard boost to get the upper hand.
we're about to see what your guts are made of. I'm not even kidding
I won't
either.
make this easy.
I'm about, like, Rosette, in fact, is about to splatter you. Everywhere.
Get ready.
I'm not joking. This is gonna happen. Can I hit everyone with this? No. Heavenly Holder, maybe? Yes.
I won't make this easy. Stay put. Up to you, Reset.
Activating skill.
I shall end this. Ha! It's over. Radiant Seeker!
Boost gauge limiter removed.
No way.
Area suppression commenced. Area suppression
Oh, I
finished.
could do better.
I actually gave some nice experience to Katra. And if you're looking for someone to blame, take it up with your leaders. Alright, now let's get them tied up. Damn it, they've ruined everything. Well, if I can't win, I'll at least make sure they lose. Think again. Pow! How did you... Let's just say I have a lot of experience under my belt. Also, you didn't notice me because I was way below eye level. Besides, there's no way I was about to let you go after all the harm you caused. What, you really thought we forgot about you? You must be the king of wishful thinking. Yeah, no dice, man. You've got a hell of a lot to answer for, and you better not skimp out any details either. Fine, I surrender. After that, the man pretending to be part of an MPO was thoroughly interrogated. The Dolo family's foray into the slave trade was indeed a decision agreed upon by their higher-ups. However, the shell company that was used as the front for the MPO was originally meant to receive illegal grant money. As for the reason they seemed to be targeting people from the north, the culprit had no idea. It was deemed to be knowledge above his pay grade. Thanks for handing them over to us. We've had our eye on the Dolo family's activities for quite a while now. Well, I'm glad we could at least put one of their schemes to bed. Anyway, is it really okay for us to speak to the victims right now? Don't get me wrong, I'm only giving you a few minutes. And even if you do have connections to Kincaid, just try and stay out of trouble from now on, alright? Okay, I'll try to keep my head down. Excuse me, Agent Hubert. Yes, we were able to apprehend all of the Mafia's collaborators. We still need to confirm with the 2nd External Affairs Division if it's related to the prior incident. From what we've learned so far, it seems that they're clients. Yeah, given the demographics of the victims, I have no doubt that it's related. We'll have to do investigations into their backgrounds. Is something wrong, Agent Hubert? It's nothing for you to worry about. Anyway, I'll handle the follow-up. The Integrated Analysis Division should come to a decision once they receive all the remaining details. We'll talk more then. Well, as it stands, it sounds like we'll be formally taking charge of this investigation. We've appreciated your cooperation thus far, but seriously, keep your hands to yourselves from now on, okay? Yeah, no need to tell me twice. Well, I suppose since we found all the missing immigrants, we can consider this job a case closed. Yes, I agree. However, I'm a bit worried that we're unaware as to why they were targeting migrants from the north of Samaria. Their client was in need of people within that demographic. as for what reason, I really don't know. Yeah, it didn't really seem like the guy was lying about that part either. Kind of think of it, that guy from the CID said they were still worried about that particular client of the Dollar families. The man for people from the poorest walks of life. It's not hard to imagine what they plan to do with them. Yes, but we don't have proof of any further intentions they may have. We'd have to do a more thorough investigation. Well, that can wait for now. I think we should worry about getting these people back home first. After taking a quick count of the people on the bus, Van and the others escorted them back to the capital. Upon arrival, the group went to report back to Conrad on the outcome of the job. So at the end of the day, it was the Dollar family behind it all. We're not completely sure why they had such specific targets, but we did manage to bring everyone back safely. Thank goodness, I'm glad I asked for your help after all. Must say, I'm surprised this was a scheme by the Mafia though. How could they be so cruel? I'm worried the victims will have a hard time recovering from the trauma. Yes, that is a valid concern, and as migrants without valid work visas, they have very little protection under the law. They were manipulated out of their chance for stability. Even if they were to report their damages to the police, they might just end up being arrested and deported. The guild should have no issue with taking them in as a form of humanitarian sanctuary, but I suppose considering their unlawful status, there would be a limit to how much they could do if officials were to intervene. You'd probably have to dismantle the laws from the past century to get anything done. Man, this sucks. How do you want to deal with this, Chief? Well, you should aid the migrant workers. Oof. I mean, Conrad's the guy who does a lot of the work, but I feel like it should be the guild, surely, and the ICO. I'm going to be best for the guild to oversee them for now. Thankfully, they're right around the corner. That won't be a problem, right? No, of course not. As I mentioned, however, there will be limits to what we can do. I'm also unsure if finding new jobs is something we can do for them. Does that still sound alright, Van? Yeah, it should be fine. Got a feeling our new partner here will be able to help us out anyway. You should be able to figure something out as long as the guild cooperates with your NGO, right? Actually, yes, the ICO has plenty of experience with employment assistance. They're also pretty used to working in grey areas. We should be able to assist in negotiations with the immigration office as well. I see. Using both the guild, who excel at providing protection, and the ICO, who are adept at dealing with bureaucratic measures. Migrants are in good hands. Well, I'm certainly not opposed to a partnership. How about you, Toa? No, I'd be honoured to team up. The ICO is rather busy at the moment, but I'll find a way to make it work. It's decided then. I'll leave the rest to you two. Anyway, thank you for all your help. The workers were saved and I don't have to keep looking over my shoulder. I'll deposit the money into your account as soon as I can. Works for me. If you ever need help with anything else, just let us know. I have to make sure I give my thanks to Cunning again, too. Well, I guess I'll be heading off now. I need to gather the crew and discuss our steps going forward. I think it's about time I'm on my way as well. I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss at the next ICO meeting. Probably have to do a bunch of research too. Thank you so much for all your help, Miss Toa. We wouldn't have been able to solve this case without you. Yeah, I'd heard you were good, but you really pulled out all the stops. I might even come to you for help on our future jobs. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Farewell, Agnes. Good luck with everything. It's a pretty long quest, that was. We're done here, right? This whole thing left a pretty bad taste in my mouth. There's a few things I'm still worried about personally, but we can at least rest assured that the victims will be taken care of. I think we can go ahead and call this a case closed. We should keep this whole situation in mind for the future, though. Yeah, if those villains ever show their face again, I'll tear them a new one. I'm sure the guild will have to raise their alerts after hearing about all of this. If this is just a hint of what's going on in the underground, we might want to deal with the situation before it devolves even further. I'm worried that something like this will happen again. Van and Toa seem to have their suspicions of who the mastermind is, though. What the CID said about certain demographics being targeted, maybe... Alright, tell me what you learned in our main investigation. I still haven't been able to find any details about their plan. However, it does seem like there's a chance they mean to take action soon. I assume that's why the CID has been on the defense against the second generation recently. So that's how they're connected. I'll continue the investigation on my end. Depending on what it entails, I may have to get help from Angie or George. And the incident that Reem was worried about could also be a part of this. Regardless, the ball's in our court now. We need to find out exactly what's going on. As those who dealt with the shadows in the Empire, you might even say it's our duty. Right, this isn't about the Republic or the Empire. It's about the future. Let's give our best going forward, Crow.
Of course it was Crow.
I hope I was of assistance.
Mira deposit confirmed.
Law plus for what we gave it. No, we didn't want law. We should have chose the other option.